Good evening.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
I thought one day we'll just look at it. And
When my council gets finished talking, we'll proceed. We'll give you all a hard time. Everybody else,
sorry.
go quiet. I would like to welcome everyone to the Town of Lexington Council meeting. This council meeting is being held at Town Hall on Monday, June the 2nd, 2025. This meeting is being broadcast live on the town's YouTube channel. I'm Hazel Livingston, the mayor of the Town of Lexington. I'd like to introduce now my fellow council members. To my left is Mayor Pro Tem Ron Williams.
Good evening.
To his left is Council Member Todd Lyle.
Good evening.
To his left is Council Member Jenny Michaels.
Good evening.
To my right is Council Member Todd Carnes.
Hello, everyone.
To his right is Council Member Gavin Smith.
Hi, everyone.
And to his right is Council Member Will Allen.
Good evening.
Our invocation tonight will be by our Police Department Chaplain, Paul Kerr. Would you please come forward and give us our invocation?
Let us pray. Eternal God, we come before you this evening with our hearts full of gratitude for your love and for your creation. We thank you for creating each of us in this room and every citizen of this community with dignity and infinite worth. We come to you now, humbly asking you for your guidance, wisdom, and support. May your light illuminate all discussions, and may your spirit guide decisions made. Bless our mayor and our council members, and grant them strength and discernment as they fulfill their duties with integrity and compassion. May we all work together in unity and harmony, seeking the common good for our entire community. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, Councilmember Will Allen will lead us in the pledge.
All rise.
Y'all all join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now call the council meeting to order. Are there any deletions from tonight's agenda? Hearing none, council met in executive session prior to the meeting. Matters discussed in executive session as permitted by South Carolina Code is one routine personnel matter, discussion regarding West Columbia water litigation, and legal advice regarding agenda items. No vote was taken. Do I hear a motion to ratify this report?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem makes the motion. Councilman Carnes seconds it. Is there any discussion on this? Hearing none, all those raise your right hand, and it is unanimous. At this time, we'll move into approval of minutes. Attached are the minutes from April the 7th, 2025 council meeting and May the 19th, 2025 work session. Are there any admissions, additions, or corrections to the minutes? Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Councilman Carnes makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilman Michaels seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. This time I'll give a vision plan update. Old Mill Pond Trail parking lot. Exciting update on this is work began today on the new lower parking lot located at 711 East Main Street. The new municipal lot will provide 73 paved parking spaces at the base of the dam and a pathway to access the trail. While construction is underway, the lot will remain closed, but parking will still be available at the top of the old mill and the new gravel lot on the South Lake Drive side. The new lower parking lot is expected to reopen around Labor Day. We're all going to keep our fingers crossed and hope it's before then. There's just one example of our vision plan projects. For a complete list, go to lexsc.gov. Next, we'll have an update on our traffic from Mayor Pro Tem Ron Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Roadwork repair and maintenance continue for sidewalk and drainage improvements on East Butler Street. On Thursday, June the 5th, one lane of North Church Street will be closed to complete a water line repair. Also, on Thursday, June 5th, beginning at 9 a.m., a lane closure at West Main Street and Columbia Avenue will be in effect to complete a sewer line repair. Construction continues for the right turn lane at Sunset Boulevard and Mineral Springs Road. Most of the road work will be completed during the day, but no lane closures are expected at this time. The SCDOT continues the nighttime paving operations along Sunset Boulevard from North Lake Drive to Corley Mill Road. Finally, most of the local schools are officially out for summer break. Enjoy the reduction in the traffic flow over the next couple of months while we continue to allow adequate time to reach your destination safely. Please exercise caution when traveling in the construction areas. We encourage you to follow the Town of Lexington social media outlets for traffic alerts and updates. And please call 803-358-7273 to report any traffic signals, unsafe roadway conditions, or a pothole that needs immediate repair.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, for that. We will now open the public hearing portion of the meeting. We ask those that want to speak to please come to the podium, provide your name and address for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. There will be no standing head count of opponents or proponents. The purpose of the public hearing is to obtain facts regarding the subject matter. Please note this is only for council information and not question and answer session. These guidelines are in place to help the public hearing run efficiently. With that, is there anyone that would like to speak regarding the final reading of proposed amendments to Chapter 156 Landscape and Tree Ordinance? The next one is final reading Establishment of Property Ownership, Canning Court. Would anyone like to speak to that one? The next one is final reading rate class update business license. Would anybody like to speak to that one? The next one is final reading of current budget adjustment parks grapple truck. Would anyone like to speak to that one? The next one is final reading of the fiscal year 2026 budget. Anyone want to speak to that one? And the last one is final reading of an ordinance to provide for the FY 2025-2026 tax levy. Would anyone like to speak to that one? With nobody wanting to talk tonight, we will now close the public hearing. Moving on to our presentations. Our first presentation is from Police Chief Green, recognition of Patrolman Chad Beeson, Lifesaver Award.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, and citizens of Lexington. When we got in this line of work, we got in here to protect lives and to save lives. I'm in my 33 years of public service, and I have not had the opportunity to save a life. It's rare. Today we want to acknowledge one of our officers who did it. It'll be Patrolman Chad Beeson. So we want to read this in acknowledgement and appreciation of his act of life-saving on March 14, 2025, with timely first aid, which saved their life. While having dinner at Miyabi Jr., Chad Beeson was alerted that a kitchen staff employee had fallen, struck his head, and was no longer breathing and had no pulse. Beeson performed chest compression and applied AED pads to the patient. He administered an electric shock, which restarted a normal heart rhythm to the patient. The patient was transported to the hospital by ambulance, and the patient was able to make a full recovery, learning that he had suffered a heart attack. For Patrolman Chad Beeson's professionalism, dedication, and passion to serve and protect, he is hereby awarded today the Chief Life-Saving Medal Award.
It's a fancy looking award.
Oh, no.
Would he like to say anything, Chief?
Would you like to say anything? First, Chief is great.
Chief is great.
You know, he gives us all that instruction too.
Real briefly, just want to thank my wife. A lot of people think I'm crazy. I did 20 years in the military, retired, and there's a lot of other things I can do to make more money and less stress and much safer. But the one person that's never thought I was crazy is her. So I appreciate your support and letting me do what I want to do, because this is what I want to do. So I wanted something that was rewarding and challenging, and I can't think of anything more rewarding than saving someone's life. So this is a very great honor for me. I appreciate Chief and all the guys that I work with teaching me the ropes and guiding me through this, first year in law enforcement. I greatly appreciate your support, your friendship, and the recognition tonight. It's not I don't do anything ever in my life for recognition. I just try to do the best I can at everything I do. And, so that's very uncomfortable right now, but I appreciate it.
You did a great job. Thank you. And our second presentation is also from Chief.
All right, we got a video we got to show. We want to thank Michael for doing a video in less than 3 hours to present to you guys. And he'll have that video turned on.
The Lexington Police Department is stepping into the future of public safety with the addition of Evolve Express, an advanced weapons detection system designed to protect the community without sacrificing efficiency. Traditional metal detectors alert on anything metal, keys, phones, jewelry, causing long lines, delays, and frustration. They can't tell if the object is a real threat. So more often than not, guests go through extra screening, invasive and time-consuming. Evolve Express changes the game. It's not just detecting metal, it's designed to detect actual weapons based on your location-specific threat profile. You can keep everyday items like your phone, wallet, and jewelry. No stops, no hassle. If there is a threat, Evolve pinpoints exactly where, reducing guesswork, speeding up response, and minimizing bias. Alerts are logged and sent to the cloud, providing real-time insights and trend reports accessible from any browser. Backed by experts in physics, engineering, and security, Evolve Express brings together cutting-edge detection and intelligent data analysis. By investing in Evolve, the Lexington Police Department is investing in a safer, smarter, and more welcoming community experience, where security works in the background so life can move forward.
Okay, this Evolve system, this is the last piece we had to purchase from a grant we received from Senator Lindsey Graham. We were awarded that grant in December of 2022. The amount was for $2.2 million. With that, we bought laptops for our officers, new body cameras for our officers, new in-car cameras for the officers, the new video and upgrades in the courtroom, and also new the cloud storage. So for our taxpayers, it didn't come from our pockets, it came from everybody's pocket in America. So thank you, America. Questions?
Right.
None? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Our next proclamation is from Councilmember Lyle for Lexington High School girls lacrosse team for their state championship win. Could we have all of them to circle around up here so while he reads you your proclamation?
Is that what you meant? Is that what you meant?
We'll kind of, we'll roll with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll roll with it.
we'll roll with it. Let you read to them, okay?
All right. Thanks for coming, y'all. So this I have here is a proclamation of the mayor and the town council of the town of Lexington honoring the Lexington High School girls lacrosse team on their first ever state championship. Congratulations. Whereas the Lexington High School girls lacrosse team has brought honor and recognition to our community by winning the 2025 South Carolina High School League 5A Division I state championship. Whereas the Wildcats completed a remarkable season with a record of 16 wins and only 1 loss, remaining undefeated in region play and demonstrating excellence, perseverance, and teamwork throughout the season. Whereas under the leadership of head coach Tiffany Tortorello, in just her second year, the team not only captured their first state title in program history, but also set a record for the most wins in a season and secured milestone victories, including the first ever win over powerhouse Wando, which you beat in the quarterfinals, which I checked up on, I saw that. And then you beat River Bluff in the semifinals, and then you beat Spartanburg for the whole thing. Whereas the contributions of all team members demonstrate the depth of talent, character, and commitment within the program, whereas the historic achievement reflects the strength of Lexington student athletes, the dedication of their coaches and supporters, and the enduring spirit of excellence that defines our community, as well as an amazing athletic director. I see up there with you. Whereas the historic achievement reflects the strengths of Lexington student athletes, the dedication of their coaches, supporters, I think I said this, and the enduring spirit of excellence that defines our community here in Lexington. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the mayor of the town of Lexington, of the town council in the town of Lexington, that we do hereby recognize and congratulate the Lexington High School girls lacrosse team for their 2025 state championship title and express our deep appreciation for the pride, inspiration, and the unity they have brought to our town, presented this second day of June 2025, signed by your mayor, Hazel Livingston. And let me also say congratulations as a proud alum of Lexington High School. It brings me joy to see us bring home the hardware, so to speak. So congrats, Dustin. Great program you're overseeing. Coach Whitney, is that you? Tiffany, sorry. Tortorello. I know it, Whitney. Congrats again. And so this is for you guys. We'll come down and I guess, do we want to
Let Michael get you a picture.
yeah, but do we want to well, we'll do a picture first, then we'll let somebody take the mic. There's a bunch of y'all, so. One side.
If I don't get y'all to go over this
You
way.
should listen to what Michael says.
Yeah, going over this way. You gotta move over as well.
But you're gonna hold this. And I'll stand next to you, so you hold it.
So cheers.
Do we want to let some parents sit there with you real quick? I think we got some. Y'all come up.
We also do usually share these.
You may only do this once, so do it.
Just as a side.
Congratulations. Thank you again, Coach. Thank you. Dustin. Yeah, y'all say something nice to the coach included. There you go.
All right, so it was pretty easy to put this one in charge last year, and she had an amazing group of young ladies. I know we have a lot of talented seniors who have been playing together for a really long time, and she brought out the best in them, and those girls set their mind that they had a goal. And I watched them all last off season show up for their own little voluntary workouts and those kinds of things. They were running stadium steps and everything in Wildcat Hollow. So this was a long time coming for them. and for her, and they had all the right pieces together to do that, along with a whole bunch of girls that really, really wanted it, and that certainly showed throughout the year. Really proud of them. They're all really strong academically. They're all great kids, great students, and to the seniors, we're gonna miss them a great deal. And now it's time for the underclassmen to step up. And she's not a full-time teacher. She actually works for SLED. So just kind of a cool little factoid about Coach Tortorello, but we're blessed to have her.
And I just want to say thank you guys first for the invitation to come today. We appreciate that. And thank you to Dustin for giving me the opportunity to coach. But mostly thank you to the community and the girls for putting in the work. I know you guys have worked hard, like he said, in the off season, but we couldn't do it without the support of the community. I know right before we went to state, several businesses changed their billboards, so good luck at state, Lady Lacs, Wildcats. So it's definitely been a long time coming. Like he said, we have a lot of seniors that put in the work over the years, but we could not do it without the support of all of you. And like I said, thank you again for inviting us here. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all for being here, and congratulations. Our last proclamation is for the Big Red Barn in Sutton. Shaw, if you're here, if you'll come up here while I read this, I'd appreciate it, and whoever else you have. Whereas post-traumatic growth recognizes the capacity for positive psychological transformation that can emerge from grappling with trauma, resulting in newfound perspectives, deeper relationships, personal strength, and renewed purpose. And whereas the journey toward post-traumatic growth is one of courage and introspection, involving the development of new life goals, values, and meaning, as well as greater appreciation for life and deeper interpersonal connections. And whereas the Big Red Barn Retreat has been a leader in championing this journey, providing innovative and compassionate programming that empowers individuals to embrace healing, resilience, and growth after trauma. And whereas the ripple effects of post-traumatic growth extend beyond the individual, strengthening families, revitalizing communities, and contributing to the collective well-being of the state of South Carolina. And whereas it is both fitting and proper to honor those who embark on this courageous journey of transformation and to raise awareness of the potential for growth and strength can arise from adversity. Now therefore be proclaimed by the Mayor and Town Council of the Town of Lexington that June 13th, 2025 is hereby designated as Post-Traumatic Growth Day in the Town of Lexington, South Carolina. We encourage all residents to observe this day with reflection, commend the Big Red Barn Retreat and other organizations working to support trauma survivors for the invaluable contribution to fostering resilience, hope, and healing, presented on the second day of June 2025. Tell us a little bit about that and what y'all do.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for this great honor and this proclamation. As Hazel's mentioned, I'm the co-founder of the Big Red Barn Retreat, and with me, where did he go? There he is. He is the director of the Warrior Path program, as well as our training program for first responders, which is called Struggle Well. And we're honored to take this time to recognize post-traumatic growth, that so much time and energy and effort is focused on PTSD. And it doesn't recognize the ability of the human spirit to go through traumatic experiences, some of our darkest times, and come out of those moments with a deeper appreciation for life, deeper relationships. And so this day, June 13th, has been dedicated not only on a national level in the state of South Carolina as well, but here in Lexington. But we chose Lexington to have our event. So on June 13th, we will be hosting an event at the Ice House. It will start with 3 of our Warrior Path graduates that will share songs that relate and resonate with positive memories for them. And then we will be having Scotty Hastings out. You may have seen him recently on a bunch of Memorial Day events with TV appearances and such, but he is a combat veteran that was injured, shot in Afghanistan, and is now making it in the country music industry. He will be at the CMAs, and so he will be honoring us, his first appearance in South Carolina on June 13th, right here at the Ice House. So we invite everyone out. Tickets are only $20, and we hope to see all of you out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Our first item of old business is from Councilmember Lau, final reading of proposed amendments to Chapter 156, Landscaping and Tree Ordinance.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So over the last few months, Planning Commission, in collaboration with staff, community stakeholders.
You want to hold up a minute, let
Yeah.
me go.
Sorry, so again, I'll do the final reading of the proposed amendments to Chapter 156, Landscaping Tree Ordinance. Over the past several months, the Planning Commission for the town of Lexington, in collaboration with our staff and community stakeholders, as well as council, has proposed amendments to the town's landscaping and tree ordinance. The Planning Commission recommended approving the proposed amendments at their March meeting. Town Council has reviewed those proposed amendments. Did so during our April 21st work session, and we all agreed. The proposed amendments are attached herein. Madam Mayor, I'd make a motion for final reading approval of the proposed amendments to Chapter 156, the Landscaping and Tree Ordinance.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilman Michaels seconds it. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Jessica, could I ask you a question? I have a very brief question for you, and I don't think that it's anything that should hold this up, but it came up as I was reading it over the weekend. First, thank you for all the work that you've done on it, and to the Planning Commission as well, and the rest of your staff. One of the things that came up recently, you're familiar with, I'm going to use my neighborhood, Sterling Bridge. If you look at the front entrance where the power lines are at, and there's trees that have been recently planted, and we need to move those trees. I don't expect you to give me an answer tonight if it's not already in here, but is there anything in this ordinance that would address that issue of maybe we shouldn't plant trees under power lines so that, you know, it is in there?
Yes,
okay.
It is in there. We've actually worked really well with Dominion, creating relationships and building that so that we know what they're looking for under their trees. And our new landscape reviewer, Shannon Smith, he's working with them on several different areas. So they've actually reached out to us about a couple of problem areas so that we can try to mitigate that. And moving forward, we'll be looking at landscape plans for subdivisions, so we will see that in the beginning stages to head that off.
Perfect. Well, you know better than me. I was reading through it this weekend, and I couldn't find it in there, and I said, well, I'll just ask Jessica Monday. So thank you for
You're
answering
welcome.
that.
Oop, don't run off. Madam Mayor, real quick. Can you just enlighten me? There was some conversation about our scenic corridors and some berms, maybe the use of berms as a little bit of a facade on those. Where did that land in the ordinance, if at all?
We did include some language, and we clarified what berms were in the definitions. So that is an option for them to utilize to create that scenic core buffer if it's had to be removed for some reason to fulfill that requirement. So they can work with the landscape reviewer, and he has final say on design and species approval.
Perfect. I knew it was going to be hard to be super objective on that, so perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jessica.
Is that all? Anybody else? Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor raise your right hand, and it is unanimous. Our second item is establishment of property ownership Cannon Court, Councilmember Carnes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just by way of background, 29 Acre Wood LLC owns a 29-acre tract adjacent to Heritage Hill subdivision. This property was originally intended for future development as part of Heritage Hills, but was never developed. When the current owner purchased the property, the recorded plat indicated that a private road, Cannon Court, was included as part of the tract. Neither the town of Lexington nor the Lexington County has ever maintained Cannon Court as a public road. The property owner is now requesting a quitclaim deed from the town of Lexington to establish clear title to Cannon Court. I know we had a reading of this last month. We had a public hearing earlier, and so, Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we table this item in anticipation of the fact that this is there's 3 private parties involved in this, and we anticipate them coming to some sort of agreement amongst themselves. And so, with that being the case, I make a motion that this motion be tabled.
Councilman Carnes makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I'm going to give it to Councilman Smith because I've given you something tonight. So, any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. Our number 3 is final reading of rate class update business license. Councilman Michaels.
Thank you. The statewide Business License Standardization Act requires municipalities to adopt the updated standard rate classes in every odd year for implementation in the next even year business license cycle. The ordinance update Appendix B of the Business License Ordinance for the rate classification changes. Appendix A of the Business License Ordinance is restated to ensure conformity to current NAICS codes. Currently, adopted business license rates remain unchanged by this update. Mayor, I make a motion for final reading approval of the ordinance to adopt the updated standard business license rate class schedule code and related matters thereto.
Councilmember Michaels makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilman Carnes seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. Number 4 on old business is final reading of current budget adjustment for Parks Grapple Truck. Councilmember Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I believe I read this last month. Our town's Parks and Community Services Department needs to purchase a grapple truck for yard debris pickup prior to July 1st, 2025. The expected cost for that grapple truck is $240,000. And as such, I move for final reading approval of an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 24-25 budget for the purchase of a grapple truck.
Councilman Smith makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Michaels seconds it. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. Item number 5 is final reading of the fiscal year 2026 budget. Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. South Carolina law requires town council to adopt a balanced budget each year. The ordinance and details have been attached to our packets. I make a motion for final reading approval.
Mayor Pro Tem makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilman Carnes seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. Final reading of an ordinance to provide for the FY 2025-2026 tax levy. Councilmember Carnes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. South Carolina law requires town council to adopt the tax levy each year. The ordinance is attached. For the tax levy for fiscal year 25-26, I make a motion for final reading approval.
Councilmember Carnes makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem seconds it. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Stuart, could you just remind us, for those who are watching, how long it's been since the town has increased the millage rate or the taxes, to the average citizen? Could you just remind us for those who are watching?
Sure. Kathy can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been at least 30 years, and I believe it may be right at 30. So it's been quite some time.
Great. And I would just also ask, the town has also lowered the millage rate, thus reducing taxes. How many times?
At least 3.
At least 3. Okay.
I was thinking it was 3 or 5 in my time frame here.
Great.
It's just been a long time.
Great.
We're in the business of lowering your taxes, not raising them.
Yes. Great. That's all I needed to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Any other? All those in favor, raise your right hand. And I know everybody's voting for that. And it's unanimous. Now we'll move into new business. Our first item on new business is approval to sign a mutual aid agreement with City of Casey. They have a newly appointed police chief, Councilmember Allen.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The City of Casey has recently appointed a new police chief. As a result, a new mutual aid agreement must be executed between the town and the City of Casey to reflect and ensure continued interagency cooperation. Mayor, I move for council approval to authorize the town administrator and/or the police chief to execute the agreement on behalf of the town.
Councilmember Allen makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Councilmember Smith seconds it. Do I hear any discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Our second item is first reading proposed changes to the solid waste collection and disposal ordinance. Councilmember Smith.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So the town of Lexington has entered into a new residential solid waste and recycling collection contract with Waste Management. The new contract necessitates changes to collection procedures and to the current solid waste collection and disposal ordinance. As such, the town council reviewed the options and recommendations during the May 19th work session and agreed to place the item on the agenda for first reading approval. A public hearing and final reading are anticipated to take place on July 7th, 2025, and the proposed amendments are included in the agenda packet and backup materials. As such, Madam Mayor, I move for first reading approval.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilman Carnes seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Our third item of new business is adoption of Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan. Mayor Pro Tem Ron Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. In August of 2024, the town of Lexington entered into an agreement with the Federal Highway Administration to establish Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan. In December of 2024, the council adopted a resolution to establish a target zero policy to work towards minimizing traffic deaths and severe injuries for drivers and pedestrians in and near the town of Lexington. In April of 2025, engineer consultant Joe Robertson of Kimberly Horn presented for the adoption of the SS4A SAP during council work session. The SS4A SAP is now complete and includes intersection improvements, access management, and pedestrian improvements. The SAP will require adoption by council. The adoption of this plan positions staff to pursue an FHWA implementation grant. The SF4A during the next eligibility window closing June 26, 2025. This 110-page plan intends to serve as a guide and resource for driving safety improvements within the town of Lexington's municipal boundary. The town of Lexington's transportation and SAP have coordinated to date with the Lexington County to ensure that the plans are complementary to each other and that there is no overlap or redundancy. So I'll make a motion that council adopt the attached Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan.
Mayor Pro Tem makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilmember Michael seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it is unanimous. Item number 4 is Safe Streets for All Plan Match. Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, in August of 2024, the town entered into an agreement with the Federal Highway Administration for a $160,000 grant with a 20% match to establish safe streets for all in the Safety Action Plan. In December of 2024, the council adopted a resolution to establish a Target Zero policy to work towards minimizing deaths and injuries. Providing council adopts the plan, which we have, this positions staff to pursue a grant during the next window. Staff recommends making applications for 5 safety-related improvement projects presented for a projected cost of $15 million. Any grant awarded will require a 20% match from the town of Lexington. Based on that information, I'll hereby make a motion that council authorize staff to apply for the implementation grant through the Federal Highway Administration with a 20% match commitment.
Mayor Pro Tem makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Smith seconds it. Is there any discussion?
Nobody wants to bring Randy up and ask him a lot of questions?
Just bring out all home, okay? Okay. He's got it, Gavin, okay?
I trust him.
Mayor, I would like to thank the citizens that participated in all the studies, and there were I know there's some input given at several functions and different times during around town. I appreciate everybody that participated and the staff compiling all this information together for Kim.
I think your committee that you had formed and all that they did working on this. So thank you, Randy, and everybody that worked on this at Town Hall. Appreciate that. Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. Our final item of new business is from Councilmember Lau, Lexington County Capital Project Sales Tax Commission appointment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So Lexington County has established a commission pursuant to Section 4-10-320 of the Capital Project Sales Tax Act. There are 6 members in this commission, and this commission is charged with formulating the referendum question that'll be on the ballot for the 2026 general election. Lexington County has notified the town that we have one appointment to this Capital Project Sales Tax Commission, and this attached reference letter identifying that is part of this packet under the County Council's Resolution R-24-04. Also attached for Town Council review is a resolution to appoint town resident Edwin Gerace to the Lexington County Capital Project Sales Tax Commission. Madam Mayor, I would make a motion to approve the attached resolution, thereby appointing Edwin Gerace to the Lexington County Capital Project Sales Tax Commission.
Councilmember Lau makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Councilmember Smith seconds it. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor, could I ask a question?
Yes.
Just for clarification, Edwin serves on the Small Business Advisory Committee. And just for the record and those watching, I think it's important to note, he has to, I guess by the ordinance that established this or law, he'll have to step back from his position on the Small Business Committee.
And he is aware of that.
But we will hold that seat available until he's able to rejoin, I believe is what we have discussed.
Yes, we can hold his position instead of adding somebody else.
Okay, yeah, we could talk with him and see if that's what he would like. So we'll miss you, Edwin. I'm sure you're watching this. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Anything else? All those in favor, raise your right hand. And it's unanimous. And our next item is attempt to award 2025 pavement rehabilitation bid Transportation Director Randy Edwards. They're starting tomorrow? Or yesterday is the...
Finishing next week?
No.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you today, just for information, is that we did bid out the 2025 pavement rehabilitation on May 21st, and we received 6 competitive bids. Inline Paving Industries from Lexington submitted the lowest bid in the amount of $3.4 million, and the approved budget had been just short of $4 million. We've issued a notice of intent to award, so all the other parties have been notified, and an award letter will be sent soon upon their acceptance. So with that, we began trimming trees today for getting, so that the milling machines and dump trucks can clear on some of our residential streets, so.
So Randy, will we have a list that we'll be letting the neighborhoods know when they'll be in there and that type of thing?
So there's several forms of communication that are going to occur. One is right at a week or two before your street will be paved, you will receive a door hanger, something like that, that will have information on it explaining who to contact if you've got issues, those types of things. And most importantly, that your vehicles are removed from the street to avoid unnecessary towing. And so with that, in front of that, we are working with Woody and our GIS group to actually create an interactive map online so that you'd be able to go there and see which roads are scheduled for paving, as well as the current list that was advertised with the project is available through our bid opening section on our website. So there's multiple forms of communication. It's already out there, the complete list of the projected roads. It does look like we should be able to achieve our goal of the roads that we put out. Prior to putting out, we did trim a few, so if it just so happens that we can work in an extra road or two, but we certainly did the worst of the worst, as was discussed in February, March this past year. So.
And when do you expect the work to begin? Well, you've already begun, so.
Well,
kind of.
that's in-house. We've been, with Jeff's crew and some of my crew, we've been starting today to get some trees limbed up. The contractor anticipates mid to late July beginning. The one goal we have is that this contract is set up actually for 300 days. That's one of the tools that gets you the better bang for your buck. So the contractor will be able to come and go. However, one of the stipulations is that when they begin a subdivision, the intent is to complete the subdivision. So you may be like, they're in that subdivision, they're coming to me next. It could be a month before they come back, but at least when they're in the subdivision, our goal is to get it complete so that we don't have a lot of debris and, fielding a lot of questions. So that's our goal.
Anyone else have questions?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I was watching the repaving of Sunset Boulevard 378 and the guy that owns the boat dealership. There's a lot of news out there. Are you seeing that? Between them and DOT and lots of accusations of damage to the boats with some emulsifiers or whatever. So who knows what the reality is with that, but do we require people to push their cars X number of feet off of the roadway? Like, I just think we should use an abundance of caution so that we don't wind up in the news like to whatever that contractor did. I'm not sure what our standards would be on something like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on what they did or didn't do on that project, but that certainly is a high volume project where we are significantly lower volume. There certainly will be a demonstrate care in each of these neighborhoods because, every one of these people report back to us. We're accountable to them. So just like we're trying to give them fair warning when we're going to be in the neighborhoods with message boards, those types of things, giving them fair warning. So if you do in fact have a vehicle parked up real close, it would be advisable, to move them back. And obviously not be parking on the street, as best. And it's our job to try and accommodate folks as well to get them in and out of their neighborhoods because that's where they live, and they need to be able to get there. So we do ask for their cooperation, but it is, certainly our intent to make this hopefully as painless as possible and end up with a great product when we're done.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I have a question. Randy. So in the unfortunate case that somebody does leave a car on the street, is there going to be something on their door hanger that says, this is where your car will be, or this is what will happen?
The contractor is allowed, with notification, to then tow those vehicles. So I can't remember if we required that a specific company be, included, but that obviously would make sense to say, hey, call AAA Towing or whatever, if you.
Okay.
I think that we certainly don't want to deal with that. We even would go as far as knock on doors and say, hey, because that's just easier.
Right.
So, but the goal is to get folks to basically, handle it themselves and, I mean, it's been many years since paving equipment was in some of these neighborhoods, so sure, it'll come as a surprise, as to how much equipment and how much space we take up, but in the end, it ultimately will be hopefully good for all. Okay.
Thank you, Randy.
Any other questions? Okay, now we're moving to comments. Are there any comments from the public regarding tonight's agenda items? Any comments from staff? News media? Any questions or comments from up here, council members? If not, I have a couple of announcements. I want to take a moment and recognize our new employees that we hired during the month of May. Christina Brunamar in the court division. Did I say that right? I hope. And Brian Martin in the Parks Division, and Noah Allison in the Police Department. Also, I would like to remind everyone that's out for school that June the 17th, we'll be having another reading in the park, and it was a big hit this past time, and school was not out. So I'm hoping it'll be even better this next time on the 17th, and the library is getting involved with us on that too. And the other mayors, I think, have had good luck with theirs also. So just encourage everybody to come. I think it's at 10:30 on the 17th, if I remember correctly, to come to the reading in the park. That concludes our business for this evening. Thank you for watching the Town Council meeting. Without objection, we are adjourned.